I don't know about you, but all this rainy weather has me wanting some soup. So I decided I was going to share a quick recipe. It's kind of a hybrid between Vietnamese and Thai noodle soup, better known as pho. Maybe you've heard it as pho, but same difference. I had to modify based on some of the ingredients that I had in the house. And I'm gonna make this really, really quick and easy. You can modify and substitute any of the veggies that you need. Obviously, without being able to go to the grocery store, I don't have any bean sprouts or other veggies, but I do have some okra, sliced okra. I have some zoodles, so zucchini noodles, cilantro, some jalapenos, some shallots. You can use onions. For my chicken, I am using rotisserie chicken that's already been cooked. And then the noodles, I actually found this stuff that's bean noodles, and you literally stick it in a bowl, fill it with water, soak them for 10 to 15 minutes, rinse them out and drain them, and you'll have your noodles ready to go. So all of this is just gonna be a matter of throwing in the ingredients and letting it all mix. If you don't have all the ingredients, that's okay. You can bookmark this recipe for later or substitute and use it as an idea maker to make your own soup. So let's get at it. Okay, to get started, I have my giant soup pot. I have threw in a whole ginger. Don't worry, we're gonna take it out. If you don't like ginger, don't even worry about it. And we're gonna start with a tablespoon of oil into your pot. The next thing we're gonna do is add our jalapenos. So as you can see, I have sliced some jalapenos for garnish at the end, but I have two that are half, and I'm just gonna throw them in the pot because I'm gonna fish out the garlic and the ginger later. I'm gonna turn down the heat of my pot, it's a little hot. I'm going to add in my shallots or my onions, depending on what you have. And don't mind the hands, I'm the only one eating it, so I'm not concerned about germs. And we're gonna saute this for about 4 minutes. So when we're done, I will come back to you. I've sauteed the garlic, the shallots, the jalapenos, and the ginger together. They're getting a little crispy because my pan's extra hot, so I'm gonna head and step to the next step of this recipe. So this next part is to take a tablespoon of red curry paste. Okay, drop it in the pot. And just a teaspoon of curry powder. Now, if you don't have these spices, I like to cook lots of weird stuff, so I have these. And I might have made a trip to the grocery store. Pick whatever seasonings you have in your house. And simply just stir it all in to make sure all your veggies are coated. And try not to breathe in directly above the pot because that is some potent stuff. I'm reducing my heat to low. I have a gas stove, so it does get very hot very, very quickly, but it also can cool down quicker. Okay. So now that that is going, I'm going to stir in 1 can of coconut milk, or attempt to stir in. If you've ever worked with coconut milk, you'll know that the very top is a little more solid and then the liquid's at the bottom. So you'll try not to squirt it across the room like I just did. Break it up however you want. And we're gonna stir that in. That's what's gonna give this soup a little broth, a little more creamy consistency. Okay. And then we're gonna put in, so that was the entire can of coconut milk. The next thing we are going to add is 4 cups of chicken stock. And I'm just gonna literally eyeball it because I'm pretty certain 4 cups is pretty close to this entire container of unsalted chicken stock. Now, if you have a whole chicken and you wanna cook your whole chicken, save that stock that comes off of it to put back into the soup. I'm using a rotisserie chicken because I had one frozen, so I'm just gonna use that. So we're gonna stir this in and let it all get hot and bring it back to a boil, a very low simmering boil. You'll see some of the coconut milk hasn't fully de-chunked. super appetizing, but when the soup is done, it's gonna be amazing. So we'll let that simmer, and once it's coming back to a slow bubble, I will come back to you and we'll add the chicken. Okay, so at this point, I've let it simmer. You see this beautiful color that's coming on. I've already removed the ginger and the jalapenos that I used to help season the broth. In a separate bowl, I've taken about a tablespoon of cornstarch dissolved in water. We're just gonna add this as a thickening agent to this soup. This is definitely a step you can skip if you want, but I wanted it to be a nice, thick, creamy soup. And then the next thing is I have a deboned rotisserie chicken that I'm just going to add the whole thing. And you can add as little or as much as you'd like, but I'm just dumping the whole thing in. And then my next step is to go ahead and dump in my veggies. So I have zoodles and okra that have been cut. And I'm just gonna set it all in there together and let it come together to another boil on like a medium to high heat. And then when it's done, simply grab a bowl of your noodles. So I have the bean noodles that only needed to be rinsed and dried, and they're ready to go. And you'll ladle out whatever amount of soup that you want on top of your veggies. Top it with some cilantro and some jalapenos, and you have Vietnamese pho or Thai pho with a coconut curry flavor. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you have any questions.